Hey guys, welcome to another episode at RG, and today we're going to go through Rogers and Bell cable packages versus IPTV. Now, if you're a Canadian like me, you know you've been paying a lot of money for cable, especially basic cable. And then they kind of get you on the upsell of having a home phone and an internet package, but if you cancel the cable, your home phone might go up by $6. It's all just horrible. It's just a money grab by Bell and Rogers. They're just getting super greedy. Has a home phone nowadays. Is it really going to be vital for you to have a $20 home phone if you save maybe $5 on it by getting 30 channels, which you'll probably never even use besides CP2 for, through how IPTV works? So basically, if you have an Android box or an iOS device, you can download an app like Stalker, and then you have to get a subscription. So getting a subscription isn't as easy as kind of just calling Rogers or Bell or looking at their commercials. You kind of have to find resellers that sell credits to their customers that they kind of get from another reseller that gets it from a mega seller, and he gets it from like the head honcho guy. But anyway, so you kind of have to do a little bit of research, talk to a friend, go on some Kijiji ads, and find people that offer these IPTV services. Usually they range anywhere around $15 to $25. I have seen even some at $30, which is kind of crazy because most guys are getting this at $10 and they're maybe throwing on $5 extra to make some quick cash, but it's not a lot unless you do a lot of numbers. So first and foremost, you need an Android device, need the application, then you have to find somebody that provides this service. And the best bet's probably going to be Kijiji or Craigslist or one of these third-party sites that you can kind of go to find people that do this. They're not going to advertise on TV like Rogers and Bell do, just because it's not totally in the white area, still in the gray area right now to kind of get all these streams. So what the individual is doing, he's kind of taking streams from Bell, from Rogers, from all other cable companies, pushing them out through a couple devices, and they get streamed to your Android box or your iOS device. So you get over 3,000 channels. So for $15 to $20, over 3,000 channels, and that's not including Kodi or any of your other options on the Android box. Now, the great thing about this service is the amount of channels for only $15. That's almost equivalent to one specialty channel that the big cable companies offer. I've heard stories about people paying $12 to $13 to $15 a channel. That is crazy. How are you guys charging people $15 a channel? With IPTV for $15, you get channels from all over the world. You get Vietnamese, you can get Indian, you can get Latin, hell, even pay-per-view fights. You can watch all the UFC fights, all the wrestling matches on there for only $15. And, compared to going to Bell and Rogers where you're paying some ridiculous prices, it's not even worth it at that point. The only downside, though, with IPTV, and there are issues with it, it's not a perfect service, is the blank channels sometimes. There's freezing on certain channels, there's buffering, and some channels might only play audio. Now, when something like this happens with Rogers or Bell, you just give them a call, tell the representatives, maybe jump through a couple departments, get a little discount here for arguing, and they'll set you straight or send somebody in to fix you up. With IPTV, you can't really call anybody. Yes, you can call the person you got the subscription from, but they probably have no control over the channels that you're watching. So they have to contact somebody else, and again, it goes through superseller, goes through mega seller, then it goes to the head honcho person, and it's up to them if they want to put the stream back up or work on getting that stream back up. So there's no guarantee with any of these channels, but you get over 3,000, so most people don't really care if you get that much. But the convenience isn't there like Bell or Rogers might have. They might be able to put in a request to whoever you're getting the service from. So you can keep in mind, you can always ask your reseller, listen, this channel is down. Can you email the person providing the service to see if they can put the channel up? Whereas Rogers, you just kind of call them, go through the basics, plug in, plug out for 30 seconds, and you're kind of good to go. So the biggest downfall I'd see for IPTV is if there's an issue, or if you have a request, or if you're having issues with certain channels, there's not anybody you can really call. Like, you can call the person you're getting it from, but 90% of the time, they can't do anything about it. So usually what I do is I wait it out, and in a couple days, the most popular channels get put back up, and it's not a big issue since you have so many channels and you're only paying $15 a month. Whereas Rogers, you know what, you might be paying $50 a month, but you can call them any day of the week. If you have problems, you can call them almost 24 hours, and they'll usually help you out, which is kind of cool without, take in mind you have to jump through hoops. You have to kind of go through different departments, and I'm sure everybody's dealt with Rogers or Bell if you're from Canada, and it can get kind of stressful at times, especially when they mess up your bill all the time. So usually IPTV services do have the most popular channels up in a week or two if they do go down, but just keep in mind there's no guarantee on the time limit. So the biggest downside of this IPTV option is the convenience with the support. Now, my personal experience is 15 to 20 bucks. You can't really complain if a handful of channels go down from thousands of channels offered. The price makes up more than enough for that issue itself. Now, with Bell and Rogers, they both provide basic cable. Keyword here, guys, is basic. For Bell Basic Cable, you're looking at $24.95 a month. That's right, $24.95 a month before tax, which in Ontario is 13% HST. And this package, which is basic, it requires a $15 a month HD PVR rental on top of your $24.95. And on top of that, you have to sign a contract for at least a year. And if you don't sign the contract, you don't get the deal. There's a non-PVR HD receiver for $7 a month from Bell, but really? So you're looking at over 30 bucks just to get 30 channels from Bell? Like, that's kind of crazy. Now, over $30 for only a handful of channels definitely makes no sense. Rogers is in the same situation. Their starting package for basic cable is $24.99 a month, not including their receiver fees for only starter package that only gives you a handful of channels. When I counted, it was less than 30 channels or around 30 channels. And you have to sign a long-term contract, including rent out their receiver. So you're looking at almost 50 bucks more or less just for basic cable. And that's crazy. I don't know how Canadians have been paying so much for so long. They've been kind of bleeding us all out from my perspective. And it's such a crazy monopoly that it's not fair. And I know for a fact most Canadians aren't happy with these prices. Like with Rogers and Bell, you guys have millions of dollars and profiting more than enough off working class people that just want affordable packages. But since these companies don't want to hear anything when it comes to prices, then obviously services like IPTV are going to become more popular. With Rogers and Bell, you're looking at maybe 30 or 40 channels plus renting out their equipment and signing a contract and having a hassle to talk to them every couple months because they messed up on your bill. Now, don't even get me started on the internet tech support. I mean, we've all been there, right? Plug out for 30 seconds and then plug it back in 30 seconds. Does that sound familiar? 50% of the time works, but usually it doesn't work, for me at least. Now, the best thing about the cable providers, again, is the support. You won't get the support with IPTV, but with the cable providers, you will always get the support. Just keep in mind the value is just not there, at least for Canadians. Someone will always be there to help you with Rogers or Bell, which has never been an issue before. It's just kind of going through the hoops of getting through all those issues just to get something up and running. But is it really worth the price gouging and the wasted time going through different departments? For me, it isn't worth it. And for many people now, including specifically Canadians, this isn't an option either. We don't have the amount of options of great pricing like our neighbors in the United States. I mean, have you guys seen some of their packages in the US? They have like phone plans with unlimited data for like 30, 40 bucks a month. Unlimited internet for like $20, $30 a month with 100 download speed, which is crazy. We never even get something close to that in Canada because the big monopolies just won't let it happen. All we want to be able to do is pick channels, maybe even individually, and pay a decent price for it. I wouldn't mind paying maybe $2 a channel if it was something that I watched instead of having to buy a certain package in order to get a certain amount of channels. Like, that just isn't fair. I'll just stick to my IPTV service until you guys decide to set fair prices. So in short, guys, to bring this video to an end, the IPTV thing is kind of in the gray area right now in Canada at least. It is not illegal for any Canadians to stream content over the internet, whether infringed or copyrighted, but it is illegal to download it. So you cannot physically download what you're watching. Then it gets in a little bit of illegal terms. But as long as you're not hosting the stream, it's that head honcho guy that's kind of hosting all the streams with all the different services and pushing them out. He's the one in trouble. And as the law stands right now, I don't see anybody getting convicted in Canada. But then again, once this catches on more in Canada, I'm sure they're going to change the laws sooner or later. So all in all, 15 bucks a month, over 3,000 channels, so many different countries. You even get pay-per-view. It's crazy. Say if 20 channels go down. Do I really complain if I have 3,000 channels and 20 of them went down? No. So I would suggest using IPTV. It's $15, $20 a month. Bell and Rogers, we've went over the prices. It's just not worth it. And until Bell and Rogers decide to change their packages and be fair to the Canadian community, especially the Canadians that have been using your services since I was born, since forever, you guys could at least give us a break. But I don't think we'll see that anytime soon. If anything, we will see the laws being changed or these companies pushing the laws to be changed, which is crazy. So $15, $20 a month. All you need is an Android box or iOS device. All you need is one reseller to kind of give you those monthly credits that you can purchase from them, and you're good to go. Rogers and Bell, there's a whole different world that they have to kind of break through in order to get the same type of pricing. So I would suggest IPTV for all you guys, especially all the Canadians, just because it's not fair for us. And if you really want to stick with Rogers and Bell, then hey, that's your choice. But just remember, we've been with them forever, and everybody that's watching this video, at least in Canada, knows the problems that we go through with these monopoly companies. So again, guys, that's it from RG. I'm signing out. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and watch our next video. Have a good one.